The autumn wind whipped across the rooftop of Lincoln High School, carrying the scent of dying leaves and desperation. Nathan Walker stood at the edge, his sneakers scraping against the weathered concrete ledge. His phone buzzed violently in his pocket, notification after notification. 50,000 views. 50,000 people had seen the video that wasn't really him. If you jump, they win. The voice cut through the wind like a blade. Nathan's hands trembled on the cold metal railing. He didn't turn around. I know what they did to you. Eleanor Mitchell stepped out of the rooftop access door. Her laptop balanced in one hand, her other hand empty but ready. She moved with the calculated grace of someone who had talked people off edges before, though usually those edges involved classified operations, not high school rooftops. Nathan finally turned, and the tears streaming down his face caught the late afternoon light. You don't understand. It's everywhere. Everyone's seen it. My dad had a heart attack when he saw... His voice cracked. Eleanor set the laptop on an air conditioning unit and opened it. The screen blazed to life, showing the video 127,000 views now, 3,000 shares, and climbing. I'm not just a history teacher. Nathan. Her fingers flew across the keyboard with the precision of someone who had once infiltrated terrorist networks. Code scrolled across the screen, and something remarkable happened. The view count started dropping. Live. In real time. How are you? Nathan stepped back from the edge, mesmerized. Someone once taught me something important, Eleanor said, her eyes never leaving the screen. Every code has a back door, even the ones designed to destroy lives. 100,000 views, 75,000, 45,000. The comments section exploded with new entries. This looks fake. Check the metadata, it is synthetic. Someone's using deep fake tech. Nathan's phone finally stopped buzzing. For the first time in 3 days, the nightmare was receding instead of growing. 72 hours ago. You were just another senior trying to graduate, Eleanor said, closing the laptop. Want to tell me what really happened? The scene smashed back to 3 days earlier. The hallway outside the computer lab was empty, except for the fluorescent lights humming their lonely tune. Nathan had stayed late to finish his advanced programming project, a cryptocurrency tracking system that had caught the attention of several tech recruiters. The door slammed open. Marcus Sullivan entered first, flanked by Zachary Bennett and Tyler Kennedy. Marcus moved like a predator who had already decided on his prey. Nice coding skills, virgin. Marcus held up his phone, and Nathan's blood turned to ice. On the screen was a video Nathan changing in the locker room, illegally recorded. Let's make you famous. Zachary shifted nervously. Marcus? This is too far. He didn't do anything to... Shut up, Zach. Marcus's voice dropped to a whisper that somehow sounded louder than a scream. Remember your video? The one where you're crying about your dead sister? Want me to add some creative edits to that? Zachary went pale and stepped back. Nathan tried to run, but Tyler grabbed him. Slamming him against the lockers, the metal rang out like a funeral bell. Please, Nathan begged. I'll do whatever you want. I'll write your code. Do your homework. I don't need your help. Marcus laughed, but there was something broken in that sound. I need you to understand something. In this school, I decide who belongs and who doesn't. And you're about to become very, very famous. Back on the rooftop, Eleanor studied Nathan's face. He made the video that night. Nathan nodded, used my face, my voice, but the body, the things it was doing, he couldn't finish. We need to go inside, Eleanor said. There's something you need to see. 20 minutes later. They sat in the computer lab, the same room where Nathan's nightmare had begun. Eleanor had disabled the security cameras with 3 keystrokes. "I've been tracking Marcus for 2 weeks," she explained, pulling up file after file. 47 videos, 12 students, 3 attempted suicides. "You knew," Nathan's voice rose. "You knew and didn't."
I needed evidence that would stick. Marcus is smart. He routes everything through proxy servers, uses Bitcoin for payments, keeps his real work on air-gapped systems. Eleanor's fingers never stopped moving. But everyone makes mistakes, and Marcus's mistake was targeting you. Why, what makes me special? Before Eleanor could answer, Brooke Peterson entered the room, where Marcus carried darkness like armor. Brooke wore it like a burial shroud. Once the school's star volleyball player, she now moved like someone afraid of taking up space. "You're the new teacher." Brooke's voice was barely above a whisper. "I need help." Eleanor minimized her screens. "Brooke Peterson, volleyball captain until 2 years ago, straight A student, until I became victim number 1. Brooke's hands clenched into fists. "Marcus was my boyfriend. I loved him, trusted him, and he—" She pulled out her phone, showing a folder labeled Evidence. "He didn't start with strangers. He started with Big." The folder contained screenshots, saved videos, chat logs, a comprehensive record of Marcus's evolution from hurt teenager to digital predator. "But there's something else," Brooke said, her voice gaining strength. "Something about his mom." Eleanor's expression shifted. "What about his mother?" Brooke pulled up a news article from 2 years ago. The headline hit like a physical blow. "Local woman takes life after explicit video scandal. Husband charged with revenge porn distribution." "Lauren Sullivan," Brooke whispered. "Marcus's mom. She killed herself because his dad posted their private videos online during their divorce. Marcus was 14. He found her." The room fell silent except for the hum of computers. Eleanor stared at the article, pieces clicking into place. "He's recreating his trauma," she said finally, "using the same weapon that killed his mother. But there's more," Brooke continued. "Marcus records everything, even himself. He has this twisted need to document. Bang! The door exploded open. Marcus Sullivan stood in the doorway, and the temperature in the room seemed to drop 10 degrees. Behind him, Zachary and Tyler spread out, blocking any escape route. "Ms. Mitchell," Marcus's smile was all teeth and no warmth. "Trespassing after hours. That's against school policy." Eleanor stood slowly, her body language shifting in subtle ways, weight balanced, hands loose, ready. "Just helping Brooke with a history project." "It's funny." Marcus stepped closer, and Nathan instinctively backed away. "Brooke dropped history last semester." Zachary was scanning the room, his tech-trained eyes catching details. He saw Eleanor's laptop, still connected to the school's server. His face went pale. "Marcus." Quiet. Marcus never took his eyes off Eleanor. "I'm curious about our new teacher. You know what they say about curiosity." He grabbed Brooke's arm, his fingers digging in hard enough to leave marks. "She's with me. Let her go." Eleanor's voice carried an edge sharp enough to cut glass. "Or what?" Marcus laughed. "You'll give me detention. Send me to the principal. Call my dad." The last word dripped with enough venom to poison a city's water supply. Tyler moved to block the door completely, his bulk filling the frame. The trap was set. Marcus pulled out his phone with his free hand. The screen showed a video Eleanor in a compromising position that had never happened, doing things that would end any teaching career,
and most lives as she knew them. "Funny thing about new teachers," Marcus said. "They're so eager to make a good impression. One click, and this goes viral. You'll be done. Finished. Just another Zachary Bennett." Eleanor interrupted, her voice calm as a frozen lake. "Born March 15th, 2006, honor roll student, early admission to MIT full scholarship in computer engineering." Zachary froze. "Until October of last year," Eleanor continued, "when a video surfaced of you discussing your plans to hack the SAT system. Odd, considering you'd already scored a perfect 1600, almost like someone needed leverage over you." Marcus's grip on Brooke loosened slightly. "How do you—" "Tyler Kennedy, 2 arrests for assault. Both charges mysteriously dropped after key evidence went missing from police servers. Digital evidence. The kind that can be created or destroyed by someone with the right skills." Tyler stepped backward, suddenly uncertain. "Your deepfake has 47 technical flaws," Eleanor said, looking directly at Marcus. "The shadow mapping is off by 3 degrees. The audio has compression artifacts from the voice synthesis. The facial muscle movements don't match the phonemes. Should I continue? For the first time since walking in." Marcus looked uncertain. The predator had found something that might be prey, or might be another predator entirely. "What's going on here?" Principal Thompson stood in the doorway, his face flushed from hurrying. His eyes took in the scene, the positioning, the tension. Eleanor's laptop still glowing with evidence of unauthorized access. Marcus's uncertainty vanished. "Mr. Thompson, perfect timing. We caught Ms. Mitchell accessing school computers without authorization. Isn't that grounds for immediate termination?" Thompson looked at the laptop screen, seeing enough to understand the gravity of the situation. "Eleanor, please explain why you're in the school after hours, accessing our servers." Eleanor calculated quickly. Revealing her true purpose might save her but would destroy any chance of stopping Marcus permanently. Protecting her cover meant risking everything. Brooke couldn't take it anymore. "Please, Mr. Thompson, it's not what it looks like. She was trying to—" "Shut up," Tyler snarled, shoving Eleanor hard. What happened next took exactly 1.7 seconds. Eleanor's body moved with muscle memory carved from 8 years of mixed martial arts and 5 years of FBI close combat training. She grabbed Tyler's wrist, pivoted on her left foot, used his momentum against him, and suddenly 220 pounds of high school bully was on the ground, gasping for air. The room froze. "Who are you?" Marcus whispered, and for the first time, there was fear in his voice. "She's with me." Detective Samantha Young stood in the doorway, badge held high. Behind her, 2 uniformed officers filled the hallway. "Detective Young, Minneapolis Cybercrimes Division. We've been monitoring illegal activities at this school." Thompson's face went from red to white. "In my school, without informing me." "With all due respect, sir," Young said, entering the room. "When minors are being exploited and school administration fails to act, we don't need your permission." She looked at Eleanor with something that might have been concern or respect. "Sensei, you okay?" The word hung in the air. Sensei, teacher, but not the kind that taught history. Marcus's mind was racing, trying to process this shift in power. "You can't prove anything. Those videos could have come from anywhere. I want a lawyer." 47 victims, Young said, her voice hard as diamond. 12 schools, 3 attempted suicides, including 1 tonight. She glanced at Nathan, who was pressing himself against the wall, trying to become invisible. Thompson finally found his voice. "I need this handled quietly. The school's reputation—" "Sir," Young cut him off. "With respect." Fuck your reputation. Children are dying. The profanity in the pristine school environment was like a grenade going off. Thompson actually stepped backward. Eleanor had been silent, watching Marcus. She saw something in his eyes, not just fear or anger, but a deep, familiar pain. The same pain she'd seen in her own mirror after James Chen. "May I have 5 minutes with Marcus?" she asked quietly. "Alone." Everyone erupted at once. "Absolutely not," from Thompson. "That's insane," from Young. "Don't leave me with her," from Marcus himself. Eleanor raised one hand, and somehow, impossibly, everyone stopped talking. 5 minutes, she repeated. "That's all." Young studied her former teacher's face, then nodded slowly. "Clear the room. Everyone out." "This is highly irregular," Thompson protested as Young herded everyone toward the door. "So is everything else about this situation," Young replied. 5 minutes. The door closed, leaving Eleanor and Marcus alone. For 30 seconds, neither spoke. Eleanor pulled up a file on her laptop, encrypted and hidden beneath layers of security. "Michael Sullivan," she read. "Staff Sergeant, United States Army. 3 tours in Afghanistan. Bronze Star with Valor. Purple Heart." Marcus flinched at his father's name. Returned home with severe PTSD, self-medicated with alcohol. Divorced October 2021 after creating and distributing intimate images of his wife without consent. "Shut up." Marcus's voice was barely audible. Eleanor's voice gentled. "Lauren Sullivan, elementary school teacher, mother of 1, died by suicide October 15th, 2021. After explicit videos went viral. Note found at scene, "I can't make them stop looking at me that way." Marcus's carefully constructed armor began to crack. "I said, shut up." "You were 14, Eleanor continued. "You found her in the garage. You tried CPR for 20 minutes before the paramedics arrived. They had to sedate you to make you stop." "Shut up!" Marcus slammed his fist on the desk, and tears he'd held back for 2 years finally broke free. Eleanor pushed the laptop aside and leaned forward. "She didn't deserve what happened to her." "No," Marcus whispered. "She didn't. Neither did you." The words hung between them like a bridge over an abyss. "I learned how to make them to protect her," Marcus said, his voice breaking. "I thought if I could fight back, use the same weapons, but I was too late. By the time I figured it out, she was already gone. So you became him instead." Eleanor's voice held no judgment, only understanding. "You used the weapon that killed her to hurt others, hoping that it would hurt less." Marcus looked up, and his face was that of a broken child, not a predator. "I just wanted them to know how it felt, all of them, the whole world that watched her die and did nothing. But it didn't work, did it? The pain didn't go away." "It got worse," Marcus admitted. "Every video I made, every person I hurt, I kept seeing her face, hearing her cry, but I couldn't stop. It was like, slam! The door burst open with enough force to crack the drywall. Nathan Walker stood in the doorway, and in his shaking hand was his father's 9mm pistol. "Where is he?" Nathan screamed, the gun wavering between Eleanor and Marcus. "My dad had a heart attack. He's dying because of your video." The room exploded into chaos. Marcus threw his hands up. "Nathan, bro, chill. Don't call me bro." Nathan's finger moved to the trigger. "Delete it. Delete everything." Eleanor slowly stood, calculating angles, distances, probabilities. The gun was loaded, she could tell by how Nathan held it, heavy with deadly purpose. His finger was inside the trigger guard. One muscle twitch, and someone would die. Outside. She could hear Young calling for backup. Thompson's voice high and panicked as he ordered a school evacuation. But none of that mattered. What mattered was the 17-year-old boy holding death in his hands. "Nathan," Eleanor said, her voice carrying the same tone she'd used on the rooftop. "Your dad needs you." "He's dying," Nathan's voice cracked. "The doctors said the stress caused. He needs you alive." Eleanor interrupted. "Not in prison, not destroyed by what happens if you pull that trigger." She took a step forward. Nathan swung the gun toward her. "Stay back. I'll do it. I swear I'll—" "I know," Eleanor said, taking another step. "I know you will. I know how much it hurts. I know what it's like to want to destroy the person who destroyed you." In the corner, unnoticed by everyone, Zachary had his phone out, recording everything. His hands shook, but he kept filming. Later, he wouldn't be able to explain why. Maybe some part of him knew this moment needed to be witnessed. Marcus, for perhaps the first time in 2 years, felt actual remorse. "Nathan, I didn't mean for your dad." "Shut up!" Nathan swung the gun back to Marcus. "You don't get to apologize. You don't get to—" Eleanor moved. It wasn't the violent takedown she'd used on Tyler. This was something else, a flowing interception. Gentle but inevitable. Her hand guided Nathan's gun hand up and away. Her other arm wrapped around him as his knees buckled. The gun came free without firing, and she had it safed and set aside in one smooth motion. Nathan collapsed against her, sobbing. "He's dying. My dad is dying, and everyone thinks I'm... Shh." Eleanor held him as he cried. "We're going to fix this. All of it." Marcus stepped forward, his own tears still wet on his face. "Nathan, Crack. The sound of Marcus's palm connecting with Eleanor's face was like a gunshot in the quiet room. Her head snapped to the side, hair flying across her face. Time stopped. Nathan's sobs cut off mid-breath. Zachary's phone nearly slipped from nerveless fingers. Even the noise from the hallway seemed to pause. Eleanor slowly turned her head back. There was no mark on her face she'd rolled with the blow instinctively, but her eyes had changed. Gone was the understanding teacher. In her place stood something far more dangerous. "That," she said quietly, "was assault on a federal consultant." Marcus's hand hung in the air as he realized what he'd just done. He'd slapped a teacher in front of witnesses while being investigated for federal crimes. Wait, Marcus stepped backward. "I didn't mean—" The door burst open again. Young rushed in with 3 uniformed officers, weapons drawn. They took in the scene, the gun on the desk, Nathan on his knees, Eleanor standing with her hair disheveled, and Marcus with his hand still raised. "Stand down," Eleanor commanded, and somehow the officers listened to her instead of Young. "No weapons. We do this different." She walked to her laptop with deliberate calm, pulled up another encrypted file, and turned the screen so everyone could see. "Confidential, Operation Digital Shield. Consultant Eleanor Mitchell, former Special Agent, FBI Cybercrimes Division." The screen filled with her record. 73 cases, 69 convictions, commendations, awards, and then, at the bottom, a single red flag, Agent Mitchell, Excessive Force Inquiry, 2022. Suspect James Chen, permanent spinal damage during arrest. Finding justified but concerning. Mandatory counseling completed. Marcus stared at the screen, then at Eleanor. You're like me. You hurt people. Eleanor met his gaze steadily. Yes, I did. The admission hung in the air like smoke from a fired gun. Eleanor's confession hung in the air like a blade waiting to drop. Marcus stared at her. Seeing something, he recognized the weight of actions that couldn't be undone. James Chen, Eleanor continued, her voice steady but carrying undercurrents of old pain. 22 years old, ran a deep-fake ring targeting middle school girls. When we raided his apartment, we found over 3,000 videos. The youngest victim was 11. Young shifted uncomfortably. She'd heard the official version, but Eleanor had never spoken about it publicly. I had him cuffed, secured. The arrest was clean. Eleanor's eyes went distant. Then I found his trophy folder. Videos of the girls crying, begging. Some had already attempted suicide, and Chen He was laughing. Said his lawyer would get him out in 6 months. What did you do? Marcus whispered. I created evidence, Eleanor said simply. Fake communications linking him to terror networks. By the time my partner realized what I was doing, it was already in the system. Chen panicked, tried to run. In the struggle, she paused. Permanent spinal damage. He'll never walk again. The room was silent except for the distant sound of sirens approaching. 3 days later, Chen took his own life in federal holding. Eleanor finished, left a note saying he couldn't face what I'd planted. The investigation cleared me of the physical injury, but found the false evidence. I should have been prosecuted. Instead, they quietly retired me, sent me to counseling, said I was too emotionally invested. So you became a teacher? Nathan asked from the floor, his voice hoarse from crying. I became someone who could stop this before it started, Eleanor corrected. But the difference between Marcus and me, she looked directly at the boy who'd slapped her. I faced my monster. I owned what I'd become. The question is, will you? She turned back to the laptop, pulling up another file. This is yours, Marcus. The screen filled with hidden camera footage. Timestamp showing 2 years ago. Marcus's house. A 14-year-old boy hunched over a computer, trying desperately to delete files. Turn it off, Marcus said, his voice strangled. The footage continued. A door slammed. Michael Sullivan stumbled in, drunk, rage radiating from every movement. You little shit, the man on screen roared. What are you doing to my computer? Young Marcus's voice, high and terrified. Dad, these videos of mom people are sharing them. I'm trying to... The slap was brutal. Young Marcus hit the floor hard. His father stood over him, swaying. That's my work, the drunk man screamed. She wanted to leave me, take my son. Now everyone knows what kind of whore she really was. Present day. Marcus was shaking. Turn it off, please. But Eleanor didn't. The video jumped forward. Same room. Hours later. Young Marcus alone, face swollen, looking at a photo of his mother. I'm sorry, Mom, the boy whispered to the photo. I tried to stop him. I tried to save you. I'm so sorry. Then the video showed something that made everyone in the room catch their breath. Young Marcus opened a different program. His fingers flew across the keyboard with newfound purpose. On screen, a face began to form his father's face. Now, you'll know how it feels, young Marcus whispered, tears streaming as he worked. Everyone will see what you really are. The timestamp showed October 16th, 2021, 1 day after his mother's death. Your first deepfake, Eleanor said quietly, not of a classmate, not of a stranger, of him. Present. Marcus was sobbing now, all pretense of control gone. I wanted him to suffer like she did. I wanted the whole world to see him the way she was seen. But it didn't work. Did it? Eleanor prompted gently. It made everything worse. Marcus exploded. He beat me unconscious, said if I ever touched his computer again, he'd kill me. And Mom was still dead. Still gone. The videos were still out there. Nothing changed except I'd learned how to hurt people the same way. So you became him, Eleanor said. Used the weapon that destroyed your mother to destroy others. I couldn't stop. Marcus's voice broke completely. Every time I made a video, I told myself they deserved it. They were bullies or popular kids but really, I just wanted someone else to hurt, like I was hurting. Zachary finally spoke up from the corner, his phone still recording. Show them the vault. Marcus. Marcus's head snapped up. Zach! Shut up! No! Zachary stood, finding courage he'd forgotten he had. I'm done being afraid. I'm done being your accomplice. Miss Mitchell. He has everything. Every video, every victim. But also what? Eleanor asked. Zachary pulled out a hidden flash drive from his pocket. Insurance files. He has dirt on everyone. Teachers, parents, even Principal Thompson. Thompson, who'd been frozen in the doorway, went white. That's impossible. Is it? Zachary plugged the drive into Eleanor's laptop. Marcus taught me that everyone has secrets. Everyone has something they don't want the world to see. The screen flooded with thumbnails, hundreds of them, each one a life that could be destroyed with a single click. Dear God, Young breathed. This is an empire, Eleanor finished, built on pain. But then she noticed something. At the bottom of the file structure, a folder labeled Father Payback. She clicked it. The folder contained dozens of videos, all of Marcus's father. But these weren't just embarrassing or compromising, they were brutal. Prison scenarios, violence, humiliation, everything a son's rage could imagine happening to the man who'd driven his mother to death. You made these for him, Eleanor said. It wasn't a question. Marcus nodded, unable to speak. But look at the created date, October 15th, 2021, the day your mother died. And the last modified date, also October 15th, never sent, never posted, never used. Even then, even in your worst moment, you couldn't do it, Eleanor said. Because deep down, underneath all the pain and rage, you're not him. You never were. But I became worse, Marcus screamed. Look what I did. Look how many people I hurt. At least he only destroyed one person. I destroyed dozens. Nathan suddenly spoke from the floor. My dad, is he really dying because of me? The question cut through Marcus's breakdown. Everyone turned to look at Nathan. What? Eleanor asked. My dad saw the video and had a heart attack, Nathan said, his voice hollow. But he had the heart attack because he thought it was real. Because he thought his son had... Because of me. Because I wasn't strong enough to just deny it. No, Eleanor said firmly. Because someone weaponized technology to destroy your life. Your father's condition isn't your fault. Nathan's phone rang. With shaking hands, he answered. Hello? Yes, he's stable. Can I? Yes, I'll come right away. He hung up, fresh tears starting. He's stable, critical, but stable. They said he's asking for me. Then go, Eleanor said. Young, have an officer drive him. As Nathan stood to leave, he looked at Marcus. For a long moment, The victim and victimizer stared at each other. "I should hate you," Nathan said finally. "I should want you dead." Marcus couldn't meet his eyes. "But I just want it to stop," Nathan continued. "All of it. The videos, the pain, the cycle. I want it to stop." Then he left, and the room felt somehow emptier and fuller at the same time. Eleanor turned back to her laptop. "We can stop it, all of it. But I need your help." "Marcus." "Oh, the algorithm. Every deepfake you've created has your signature code, your digital fingerprint. We can use that to build a kill switch. Burn it all. Every video, every copy, every backup. But I need your master encryption key." Marcus stared at her. That's 2 years of work. Everything I built." "Everything you built to hurt people," Eleanor corrected. "The question is, do you want to be remembered as the boy who weaponized his mother's death, or the one who finally stopped the cycle?" Before Marcus could answer, Eleanor opened one final file. "But first, I think you need to see this." Security footage filled the screen. A cemetery. Marcus, age 15, kneeling at a grave. The headstone read, "Lauren Sullivan, beloved mother, teacher, light of the world." "I'll make them pay. Mom," the younger Marcus whispered to the stone, "all of them. Everyone who laughed. Everyone who shared. Everyone who didn't help. I promise." The video jumped forward. Same grave, but recent. Last week's timestamp. An older Marcus, 17 now, kneeling in the same spot. "I'm sorry, Mom," he said to the stone. "I became him. I became Dad. I used your death as an excuse to hurt people. I'm so sorry. I don't know how to stop. I don't know how to make it right." This was Eleanor's backhand, not the slap. But the truth Marcus had been running from. The knowledge that he'd betrayed his mother's memory by becoming the very thing that had killed her. Marcus broke completely. Great, heaving sobs that shook his entire body. "Do it. Burn it all. Here." He pulled a chain from around his neck, a USB drive hanging from it like a pendant. "Master key, everything." Eleanor took it gently. "Young, I need a secure connection to the FBI servers. We're going to need their help to make this work." As Eleanor began typing, building the program that would destroy Marcus's empire. Young got another call. Her face went pale. "We have a problem," she said. "There's someone here demanding to see his son." The door burst open before anyone could respond. Michael Sullivan stood there, and the smell of whiskey preceded him like a toxic cloud. 2 years hadn't been kind to him. His face was bloated, eyes bloodshot, the bronze star on his jacket tarnished and crooked. "Where's my boy?" he roared, scanning the room until his eyes landed on Marcus. "There you are, you little bastard. They told me you've been making those computer videos, just like your mother, causing trouble, embarrassing the family." Marcus shrank back, 14 years old again in his father's presence. "Sergeant Sullivan." Eleanor stood, and something in her bearing made the drunk man focus on her. "Who the hell are you?" He swayed, then his eyes narrowed. "Wait, I know you. I've seen you before." Eleanor nodded. "Afghanistan, December 2018, Forward Operating Base Chapman." The change in Michael Sullivan was instant. The drunken rage fled his face, replaced by something raw recognition and old fear. You're Agent Mitchell. You're the one who—" He stepped backward. "The intel. The false intel about the ambush." "The intel was real," Eleanor said quietly. Your unit was walking into a trap. 17 IEDs along the patrol route. I broke protocol to warn you." "You saved us," Michael whispered. "Saved my whole squad. I always wondered who—" "Command said it was classified." "It was, still is. I wasn't supposed to be there, wasn't supposed to interfere, but I couldn't watch good soldiers die for bad intelligence." Michael's legs gave out. He sank into a chair, and suddenly he looked very old and very broken. "And now you're here, with my boy, because of what I—" The sentence died unfinished. "Because of what you started," Eleanor confirmed. "Your actions killed your wife, and your son has spent 2 years spreading that poison to others. But it can stop. Today. Now." She turned the laptop so Michael could see the program running. Videos disappearing by the hundreds. Server connections being severed. An entire network of pain being systematically destroyed. "I did this," Michael said, watching the numbers climb. "Lauren is dead because of me. And Marcus, my boy, became a monster because of me." "Yes," Eleanor didn't soften the truth. "You did. The question is what you do now." For the first time in 2 years. Marcus spoke directly to his father. "I hated you. Hated you so much I became you. Hurt people the way you hurt Mom. But I can't anymore. I won't." Michael looked at his son, really looked at him for the first time since Lauren's death. "I'm sorry. I know it doesn't mean anything. I know it doesn't bring her back, but I'm sorry." "I know," Marcus said quietly. "I'm sorry too. For everything. For everyone I hurt trying to hurt you." Father and son stared at each other across a chasm 2 years and 1 death wide. Then, slowly, carefully, like diffusing a bomb. Michael held out his hand. Marcus took it. They didn't hug, didn't cry together, but that single handshake was a start. A first step back from the abyss they'd both been falling into. Eleanor's program beeped. "It's done. Every video with your signature code has been deleted. The servers have been purged. It's over." But she wasn't quite finished. She pulled up one more screen, a new program she'd been writing while the deletion ran. "This is for you, Marcus and Zachary and Brooke and everyone else who wants to fight back the right way." The code on screen was elegant, simple, powerful. "It's a detection algorithm. It can identify deep fakes with 97% accuracy. I want you to develop it further, make it better, give it to the world." "You want me to help stop what I started?" Marcus asked. "I want you to use your skills to heal instead of hurt." Eleanor corrected. "That's how you honor your mother's memory, not with revenge, with protection." 3 months later. Lincoln High School's computer lab was packed. Standing at the front, Marcus Sullivan clicked through a presentation. His audience, 50 students from schools across the district, listened intently. "This is how the algorithm works," he explained, showing code on the screen. "It analyzes facial muscle movements, audio compression, shadow mapping, things that are almost impossible to fake perfectly." In the front row, Nathan Walker raised his hand. "What's the accuracy rate now?" 99.3%, Marcus answered. "We've tested it on over 10,000 samples." From the doorway, Eleanor watched with Samantha Young. Both women smiled as Marcus fielded questions with patience and genuine enthusiasm. "He's good at this," Young observed. "Natural teacher." "He always had the skills," Eleanor replied. "He just needed to learn how to use them differently." And his father, 6 months sober, court-ordered therapy, supervised visits with Marcus. "It's slow, But, Eleanor shrugged, healing takes time. What about you? Young asked. You planning to stay? Teaching history to teenagers has to be boring after the FBI. Eleanor smiled. Actually, I'm starting a new program, Digital Citizenship and Ethics. Principal Thompson approved it yesterday. Thompson? He's still here after everything. He learned some hard lessons too. Sometimes people surprise you. In the classroom, Marcus was wrapping up. Remember, we all have power online. The question is how we use it. To hurt or to heal? To destroy or protect? The choice is always ours. As the students filed out, chattering excitedly about the presentation, Marcus caught sight of Eleanor in the doorway. He gave her a small nod, teacher to teacher now. Eleanor nodded back, then walked away. Behind her, she heard Marcus greeting his next group of students, ready to share the lessons he'd learned the hardest way possible. Her phone buzzed. A message from the FBI. Another school. Another predator. Another case that needed her unique skills. She typed back a simple response. Send me the files. Because monsters weren't born. They were programmed. But with the right code, the right intervention, the right moment of grace, any program could be rewritten. Even the broken ones. Even the ones that had hurt others. Even the ones that had given up hope. In the end, Eleanor thought, as she walked through the halls of Lincoln High, that was the most important lesson of all. Everyone deserved a chance to debug their code and start again. The cycle could be broken, one line of code at a time. Eleanor's footsteps echoed in the empty hallway as she headed toward the exit. But something made her pause outside the memorial display case near the main office. Inside, among the trophies and achievements, was a new addition, a small plaque that hadn't been there 3 months ago. In memory of Lauren Sullivan, it read, Teacher, Mother, reminder that our words and actions echo in eternity. Below it was a QR code. Eleanor scanned it with her phone. A simple website appeared, the Lauren Sullivan Foundation for Digital Ethics Education. The hit counter showed over 200,000 visitors. Ms. Mitchell. She turned to find Brooke Peterson standing there. No longer the ghost she'd been 3 months ago. The girl stood taller now, carried herself with quiet strength. I wanted to thank you, Brooke said, not just for stopping Marcus, but for helping him find his way back. It would have been easier to just lock him up. Easier, yes, Eleanor agreed. But not better. Prison doesn't fix broken code. It just isolates it. Brooke smiled, a real smile that reached her eyes. I'm applying to college, computer science major. I want to help build better detection systems. The world needs more builders, Eleanor said, and fewer destroyers. As Brooke walked away, Eleanor took one last look at the plaque. Lauren Sullivan's legacy wasn't the pain that ended her life. It was the healing that began after.